Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and I want to show you the process I went through when editing and culling down my images from Kenya. Now, the images that you're going to see revolve around me chasing a cheetah, and by chasing, we were in a vehicle following the cheetah and her cubs throughout an entire day. So let's jump into the computer because I want to show you how I pick the best of the best with honor, sir, and end up with these final images as we go all the way through to this cheetah shot that I'm going to show you how I edited. But what we need to do is we need to get rid of all the best of the best and take it all the way back to the first image. So this would have been the first image that I took when I was out there chasing this cheetah. Now, what's interesting about this is you can see you've got the mother cheetah here. She's very thin. She's got a lot of cubs to feed, so she's got to hunt quite a bit. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 cubs out of focus in the background. I'll talk about settings a little later on, but what I want to show you, and you'll see the edited ones, which are the keepers, but I want to show you how we go through and select which images end up being the ones that we edit. See, I just don't like this. She's blinking. She's also behind this, this grass, and it's just not that good. Right, this is a little better, but then you can see when you're shooting at 30 frames per second with the R3, you can end up selecting whichever one you want. Now, it could be this one that's better than this one because maybe it's better without that leg up. Either way, it's fine. It's still not the greatest one in the world, but it's still a very good shot. And we just go through, right? Okay, we've got the cheetah cubs. These are all right. They're walking. We're looking for the best shot. And there, do you see how the cheetah creating that V with the hands, the paws, V, that looks good because they're just walking there, but they caught wind of us. But that's much better. You're like, this is good. Like, I would pick something like this, but I like that. So it's about picking the one that feels right to you based off of looks. Why is this one better than the other? Are the paws in a good place? Are there other distractions in the frame that just don't work out? This is what you're going through. And I don't care if you have 30 frames a second, 10 frames a second, or you just shoot 1 frame when you press the button. You can still get good results no matter what you do. It's not about spraying and praying, but if you do have the speed, use it wisely. Quick burst, not then you're left with 8 trillion images that you need to go ahead and edit. So you can see I just banged through a bunch of these. I don't mind these where they're looking like that. I don't mind them at all. But actually, I don't like that this one where their face is. See, it's like up their butt. I don't like that it's up their butt. This one, there's some separation. We've got 3 of the 4 cubs there. Then the mother cub gets on top of this hill. I'm using a 400-2.8, by the way, which I think is a perfect lens for when you're out in a conservancy. Real quick, there's conservancies and there's national parks. In the national parks in Kenya, you have to stay on the trail. So you can't go out and get close to where the animals are. When you're in a conservancy, the vehicles can go off-road and you can get in a much better position. There were some people that complained that I was taking the wrong gear, but they just were clueless and didn't know what they were talking about. They said I needed a 600 f4 in order to do it right. I didn't need a 600 f4 in order to do it right because I knew what we were doing. We could get off the trail and get closer, and that's why the 400 worked really well, and so did a 100 to 300 2.8. I think they were great lenses to work together. This, I'm focused on the cub here, and I don't like that the cheetah mother is out of focus. So there I switched to the mother. And I'm just looking for something, right? I'm looking for the image. I saw the other cub coming up. What's going to be good? What's going to be good? Where's the mother looking? And boom, right there. See how the horizon through the back? I don't care. It's wherever it's going to be. It's where it's going to be. She's up on a hill. I'm back in a vehicle, and I just like this one much better. So that's what we're looking at. I like the look. I like where she's at. I like this cub coming up and the other cub sitting there. Oh, and there's another cub behind. Couldn't get them all this time. All right, so we keep going through. You see, you're still, I don't mind this. I like the way the cub is looking, but the mother is blinking. But as we keep going, more cubs are coming up on the hill, and there we go. And then with editing, it's just a matter of syncing most of these together. Let's take a quick look at my settings here. I'm at 1/5000th of a second. 1/5000th, 2.8, ISO 200. right? So not everybody's gonna have a 2.8 lens. We can have an f4 lens, we could have an f5.6 lens. So how do we figure out the math of this? 1/5000th of a second, if we get rid of one stop of light, we're cutting down on how much light is coming in. We split that in half, 1/2500th at f4 at the same 200 ISO. Then we cut this one in half to get to 5/6, 1/1250th of a second at 5/6 at 200 ISO. 1/1250th is going to be plenty fast enough to freeze the motion at 5.6. A lot of you have 5.6s or 6.3s. As you go further, 5.6 goes to f8 at 200 ISO. We cut this in half even further to 1/640th of a second, right about there. And that is still good enough for action. But in this case, if you're using an f8, I'm okay with you going to 400 ISO at f8. And that puts us back up one more stop at the 1/1250th of a second. See how this all works? And you could go to 800 if you really wanted, but you're just changing one thing. For me, it's about having that fast shutter speed in this situation to freeze that motion. And sometimes maybe I want to convey motion and I'm going to go down to 1/15th of a second. But this is the math. Even if you didn't have a 2.8 lens, even if you had an f4 lens, those would be your settings. 5/6, these would be your settings. f8. So on and so forth, and you just need to look at the math of photography that I just did, and that's how you figure it out. It's not that hard. And the reason I like to shoot at faster shutter speeds is why not? And if I'm at 200 ISO, I have plenty of room. And if it's darker, I'm still gonna speed. We're gonna have some darker images later on where the subject isn't moving. I'm actually curious to see what those were at. Yep, I'm at 1/640th of a second at 3.2. Why am I at 3.2? I'm gonna tell you why I was at 3.2. I shouldn't have been at 3.2. I should have been at 2.8. Why? It doesn't really matter whether you're at 3.2 or 2.8. I must have accidentally hit the aperture in the rush to get this as the light was disappearing. It was insane what was going on. All right, so we've got the other cubs coming up here, and you're just waiting to find them and see how they look. And then she starts to move. So look, nobody really is showing you their not keeper images. I like to show you everything, but I don't edit everything. I do my selections, I cull down, and then I edit. Look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cubs there. This one only had 3¼ cubs, and so I'm waiting, but you need everything to line up. You need the cubs and you need the mother. So that's what I have. I could shoot this at f4, I could shoot it at 5.6, I could shoot it at f8 and try to get the cubs in focus. In my opinion, the more that you have in focus as you go up higher with these 400mm shots is that it starts to look more like a snapshot. Because as everything becomes into focus, you lose that isolation that makes it super unique. I'm a big fan of even shooting out here. Next time I go, I'm gonna take some, I had the 85-1.2, I'm gonna take the 135-1.8. Hopefully Canon comes out with a 200 f2 at some point, because I would use that out here. It's probably not long enough, but in those situations where you can get close and off-road in the conservancies, it does pay dividends and it will work out. But see, that's what I'm looking for here. 4 cubs in there. Why didn't I use this? Because I used this. But you see that? She turned. Okay, we got her mouth open, and that's why I selected that one. Moving on, bad. That grass doesn't look good behind her. It's a boring shot. I wanted her on top of this hill. I'm waiting for something to happen. I'm still using the 400mm here. Waiting. Okay, we're getting somewhere. And basically, as soon as she turned, I must have banged out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, about 12 frames. So that's literally less than a half a second. But then I picked this one. I love it because you can still see the part of the little hill that she's on. Could I pull back? I could with the 100 to 300, and I probably will show you. I probably did do that, but I liked the way you can see the background. I like that she's nice and isolated on the hill here. She's nice and in focus. It looks like she still has some blood on her forehead. Keep going. Let's keep going. What else do we have? Not as good. Meh. I went vertical to try to do the vertical, and it's fine. So I gave myself options to show the hill a little bit more. Keep going. Same thing, good. And then at the end, you just pick your best of the best. See, there's wider, there's your 100 to 300, because I saw the little cubs coming, but she was about to come down, so I didn't edit it. You see, you don't always have to edit everything. Every photo doesn't need to be tweaked, especially, you know, honestly, it's real easy to tweak these when you're in a similar lighting situation. I paste my settings from one to the other after I go ahead and make one edit, and they're all going to be very similar if you're in the same lighting situation. So that makes editing so much quicker and so much easier. But culling down properly also makes it much easier. So if you took 2,000 photos but you cull down to 100, now you only have 100 to edit. And if they're very similar, like you have 6 of them in the same scene, it's much easier to go ahead and sync them quickly in Lightroom to make your edits work so much better. Not bad at all. Now let me jump ahead to editing one of these photos. So we've got this photo out here at the end of chasing this cheetah all day, and I'm gonna edit it with FroPak 1. My favorite from FroPak 1 is Skittles. Skittles is amazing for wildlife and nature and birds and photos like that. It's just really, you click it, you get a great starting point, and remember, we can't control your exposure. So if your exposure is off, it's dark, it's bright, you're gonna have to tweak that after. Now, this is a little dark after I hit Skittles, but let me brighten it up just a little bit. Remember, it was getting darker at this point. So I'm gonna do these tweaks. I also feel that this is a little too green, so I'm gonna throw a little magenta in there, and I'm liking that right there. I wanna warm it up because that sun was going down. Look at the tweak that we make just by warming it up. Oh my God, that's looking so good already. And that was not far off. Look, this is where it started, and here we are already with some basic fundamental tweaks of Skittles. Now it's just find what works best for you. Boom, boom, some contrast. Oh, I like the way that looks. Let's see, is it too magenta? Nope. I think it's a great look of magenta. So boom, too warm? Maybe just a little bit, but that's the quick tweak that I'm gonna do right there. A little too much contrast, I'm gonna pull back just a little bit, and that's it. That's how easy it is to edit with FroPak 1 and Skittles. So look, if you're looking to speed up your raw workflow, give yourself a great starting point. We created 14 all-new custom Lightroom presets that you can check out right now at FroKnowsPhoto.com/FroPak4. While you're over there, you can play with the sliders to see the befores and the afters, and if you decide to pick them up right now, they're currently on sale. Or if you want to save even more, and of course get Skittles, which is part of FroPak 1, you can get the Grand Slam bundle that includes FroPak 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're gonna save a ton. So now, let me jump back into my edits. This is why a 600 isn't necessary. If I had a 600 on for this, I would have totally missed this shot. She would have been too tight, but I love how we were here. Now, keep in mind, we can't get out of the vehicle and get down low. So I have to shoot from where I'm at in the vehicle. Would I love to get into the grass, down low, out of the vehicle? Sure. You're not allowed to do that at the Conservancy. Also, I don't want to get eaten by a cat. I liked where her paw was in this one. One down, one coming up. Keep going, we're looking. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Is it a winner? Not really. These are all right. It's a little too tight. 100 to 300 would have been a little better, but this is what I had on. And I was going for a full tight. Ooh, I like where the paw's going. I like where the paw's going. Now the paw's down. Look at this. We got the tail in there, going out of focus. We got the face, super sharp, really looking good. That R3 did not miss throughout this trip. I was at 250 ISO at 1/4000th of a second. People might be like, well, shouldn't you be at 100? Shouldn't you be at 100 ISO? You don't have to be. Our cameras are fully capable of shooting at whatever ISO you want within reason at this point. And do I need to be super fast at 1/4000th of a second? The answer is no. Does it matter? No. If you didn't know my settings, you wouldn't sit here and be like, oh, you should have been at this. They're perfectly fine. Really happy with these results. Oh, and I like the way that that paw looks there too. So it's just a matter of deciding which one you like. Leaning forward, I love that. That looks, actually, I like this second one more, even though this is the one I had, because I like her leaning forward and she's away from this grass. But this is what happens when you go back and you look at your images. You might see something different the next time. And that's why I don't delete any of my images. I don't delete any of the pictures that I take. In fact, there was the elephant that I got this awesome picture right here that I didn't even know I had the first time I edited when I was out in the bush going through the files. I didn't notice that I got all of those elephants at Amboseli across the plane. They were all there until I got it home And like a month later, I went back through my images and I was like, yeah, I know some people, and by yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I know some people that will do their selects and then delete everything else. I wouldn't do that. Sometimes you go back with fresh eyes and you find something that you missed the first time, or your taste changes and you're like, oh, you know what? That was better. So just be aware of that. So now we're just looking. We got the cubs coming up. None of these are good. That lighting is definitely harsh. There's a bird flying through the background. Not liking this composition. Oh yeah, because I didn't like that stick there. Yeah, and then she just keeps walking. So sometimes you're just not gonna get good shots. We went all of this time, oh, there's a wider. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's like, it's 2.8, it's all right. It's just, okay, 1, 2, we got the 4 cubs, but it's not a great scene, right? So that's not a great scene. And then I edited this. It's all right, they're all walking away. I like this better because of the sky and the way that the horizon is, and they're walking over this hill. So she's on the search for food, really. And you're just trying to find the images. We're just trying to find them as we're walking through. Actually, I think I like this one too, right? You get a little bit of distance. And sometimes when you get distance, you can show the vastness of the plains. A lot of people make the mistake of shooting everything super tight. Tight, 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 tight. And they never show the scene. I've said it a million times. If you're in Paris at the Eiffel Tower and you do a headshot, a portrait at the Eiffel Tower, but you can't tell you're in Paris at the Eiffel Tower, then what was the point of being at Paris at the Eiffel Tower? So don't forget to also let the scene breathe. Show those images. Oh, and by the way, while I'm talking about it, if you're looking for someone to critique and be your mentor because you're tired of people giving you thumbs up emojis or fire emojis as the only feedback that they give you, I offer mentorships. Go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/mentorship. There's 2 different options. There's an option for a 15-minute recorded rapid fire critique, and then there's a live 45-minute Zoom call with me where we go over your images and we ask questions, answer questions, get everything answered for you, and that's a live 45-minute mentorship with me. So if you want to pick one of those up, go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/mentorship. You can sign up there as well as see sample mentorships that I've posted to see the type of information that I give you. You can also learn information from the mentorships that are up there for free. But yeah, if you want to sign up, go ahead and do that. Man, I love this from a distance. I just like the feel that you get. We're just going through till we find something good. Huh. I mean, see, this is what we're talking about with vastness. There's a hawk up there, or an eagle, we don't know. But you're trying to convey size. And so not everything needs to be super close. This works. I like it because they're at a distance. You can also see how they start to blend in and why the gazelles who don't see very well think that they're safe when really these cheetahs can just disappear. Now, not to us. Well, sometimes they disappear to us. But, oh my God, I took so many of these and only one of them was really a good one. That's all right. Man, looking at these again after not looking at these for a while, I'm like, oh, I like that. I didn't put that in my photo book, but I do like it. Let's keep going. Now the little cubs come and we're like, okay, can we get all of them on there? Can they all pop up? And no, they were just taking a rest. And there's more off to the left. They were just running around. 2 of them even ran under our vehicle at one point. See, this lighting is super harsh. This was tough lighting. Very tough lighting. Then she's walking again. She's backlit. We don't like it backlit. It's just not as good in this situation. So, banging out a lot of photos, not that good. This lighting was definitely harsh with that backlight. I mean, it creates a nice light around her, but it is still a little harsh. Let me jump in here real quick and say, would you like me to send you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations? Well, if you said yes, just look for this orange box over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, put your name, email address in it, hit send it. I'm gonna send you that guide for free. Now, back out to Kenya. As you can tell, I ripped through a bunch of images. You're looking for movement. The head's facing the wrong way, not good. Now, I know this is a long video, but I hope you're learning from this. This is, now we're getting close. We got 3 of the cubs. Where's the other cub? So we only have 3 of the 4 here, and it's still backlit. Sometimes we try, her head's turning. That's what we're looking for. Look, the head's turning, boom. And you catch it where you catch it, because they're all looking at something. That was cool. That's how it happens. That's why you shoot. You look for movement. But that backlight is definitely harsh. And this is where the 100 to 300 comes into play. A lot of people that only had a 400 and a 70 to 200 weren't able to get the same thing or something similar. Now we go around to the other side, because part of it is having good spotters and good drivers on these safaris that know the side of the light that we need. So we tried to direct them, like, can we go around? Wherever we could, we could. But keep in mind, these things are moving and you don't want to get in their way. You're not there to get in their way. They need to be free and do what they're going to do. You don't interfere. And so we just have to go where they go. Let's keep going through. So we don't take forever, ever. They're just resting. Now she's coming towards us. It's fine. Not as strong as some of the other ones that we had. Let's see what else we could do. Skip ahead a little bit. I mean, she's walking right towards us. So I'm looking for that paw to be down. That's better. Nah, not as good. But look, we can see the 4 cheetahs in the back, the cubs. That's what we're looking for. We want to get all of, oh, that's cool. Man, looking back at these things again. Oh, and the other one's running. Look, they're running. This might have been where they ran under the vehicle playing, because they were playing. And then they just get too close. Get a hill. We ran into some other photographers. She had socks on, so I took pictures of the socks. All right, these are all, the lighting isn't good, but I like this a lot. I think I've got some others that are better. I kind of, the eyes slightly closed. I edited it, but I don't think I made it my best of the best. I like that head look, and then I ended up going with this. And then the one that's red starred, I think is the best one. I just like the feel of it. I really do. I like the composition and I like the feel. See, I'm throwing all these different options at it, right? You got your wides, your mediums, your tights, and your details. You're looking for all of that. And you just want to show the vastness. Sometimes it works when they're small in the frame and sometimes it doesn't. I guess we took a sidetrack and got some birds. And then at the very end, she decides to sit right here as a storm is a-brewing. The storm is coming in. Oh, and by the way, if you go to jaredpolin.com/store, you can purchase some of these images from my trip to Kenya. This is where I was testing out the 24 to 105 2.8, and they didn't have the lens profile in Lightroom yet. So these weren't all fully corrected, but obviously this is corrected. And just look at this storm coming. And so, does it make sense to shoot a super tight picture like this? I think it does, right? We're looking, why didn't I shoot this? Why didn't I edit it? Because that one's better. I just like this. Look at that harsh light. The light was coming in. It was almost disappearing. I'm also trying to get, remember, there's 5 of us in this vehicle. And so some of them are laying down. There's a door they could open. They could lay down on the floor to get even lower. And it was like a little bit of a fight to be like, all right, you just shot for 2 minutes. I need to get in there. And so I finally got to get in there and get a little lower. And then this is still too high. I'm waiting. I want to get lower than this. And at this moment, you are just banging out shots. You are trying to find the best of the best with honor, sir. Because you don't know when that light's gonna go away. You see this epic sky coming. You see the rain coming. You can't see all of the baby cheetahs, but you can see the mama cheetah. And you're just trying to find that shot, and where is it? Oh my God, I shot a lot. And then over here is one of the shots. Right? I love this. And you've got another safari vehicle coming in the background. And then we keep going and we're just looking, we're looking for the best of the best. And there's a lot. I mean, you are trying. I mean, you are motor driving when you're in this situation at this point because you know the light's gonna go at any moment, and this is the best of the best. This is the one that's up at jaredpolin.com/store. If you wanna buy this one is incredible in my opinion. Man, do I love this. Probably use Skittles to start as a starting point and then tweaked quite a bit to get this shot. That is awesome. Let me see, how many more do we have here? I'm just gonna go to the best of the best because black and white, not so good. Color, ooh, so vibrant. This is the photo edit that I did earlier, and this is the edit that I did a while back. So not bad. You saw how quickly I kind of like the way that the cheetah fur is here versus here. I'm liking the color better here than I did here originally. But that's what happens. Your eyes change. You see something different over time. So never throw out your images. Sometimes go back and look at them and you might find something that you're pleasantly surprised at. So I know this is a long video. There's so few people that go through this process that show you the entire set of images to get to what the keepers are. Let me go through just the keepers real quick at the end here, real fast for you. I love this. I mean, it's just, these are the best of the best to choose from. And when you go from 2,000 pictures down to, how many of these? 88 selected. I loved it. I just love the look of this. The head, which way's better? Head tilted that way, let me know down below, or head looking this way. I kind of like the head looking this way. I like this. I like this. It's leading you through the frame. Geez, I love that, making the eye contact with us. I'm really happy with these results. First safari I ever went on. Giving that mix of that wide, coming in closer, going in tighter. That's what you're looking for. Not everything needs to be tight, 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 because you want to show the vastness of it. These aren't as good because the light's in the wrong place. That's not as good. It's not the strongest. It's good, but it's not the strongest. I just love the way that the grass is flowing here. I think that's a lot of sky I need to bring down. I think it's a little bright, but you get the point. Get out of here, duck, or whatever the hell you are. That's a bird of some kind. Oh. Wides, mediums, tights, details. Man, do I love this shot right here. I even debated, do I like it? Do I not like having the vehicle there? But I kind of like seeing the Safari vehicle there. You know, because I have it where it's not there at all, but that's good. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So cool. And that's the unedited. You can see the difference with how good Skittles was. Oh, and this guy's super famous. He and his wife, she's a National Geographic photographer. He's a videographer. That's a $70,000 lens he has on there right now. And this is just some bonus photos I'm gonna show you. A giraffe that was just born a couple days ago, still getting the placenta eaten off of it. And oh, some lions and leopards. Yeah, long video, good video. You wanna support us? You can pick up the presets at FroKnowsPhoto.com/FroPack4, FroKnowsPhoto.com/mentorship for the mentorships. You can pick up some prints, JaredPolin.com/store. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.